Next, we have two more companies in this group. Next, from Chicago, Illinois, we have Anthill. Presenting for Anthill is Young Jae Kim, co-founder and CTO. Welcome to the stage.
During pandemic, we all started to work from home, but actually 2.7 billion people didn't. That is 80% of the entire global workforce. Because these jobs do not happen at desks or computers, in the stores, in the distribution centers, or on highways. These workers are everywhere, and they are the deskless workers. Current employment solutions are not actually built for these workers. More than 50% of these deskless workers are having issues with the current system. What they need to focus on is flag safety, payment issues, or getting additional help. But current systems are not built to serve them. Even more, employers have no structure or no setup to meet the needs of these deskless workers. Introducing Anthill, a two-way support portal for the deskless workers. Anthill delivers through the most accessible technology out there, text messaging. Deskless workers don't need another application on their phone. They just need something easy, something straightforward that they can use it on their phone right away. Our system enables access to the software, replies to FAQs automatically, translates into over 110 languages, predicts turnover, and populates employee job data automatically. Let's say Jane is a contractor at the manufacturing site. Her main concern is lack of job training. Now she has this infrastructure to easily reach out to her site manager and get more information right away. Employees with Anthill get more connectivity, more access, more education, and more engagement. However, when these workers are not heard, they just leave. Turnover is expensive. On average, companies are facing above 47% of turnover rates, which costs them more than $20,000 per person to rehire and train them in a timely manner. With Anthill, employers will get the visibility into the workforce in a way that they have never seen before. We are surfacing information on behalf of them. Anthill provides employers with the tools to engage with their deskless workers and the transparency to see what every site is doing. Now, let's take a look how Anthill helps in both employees and employers. Please move to Demo 1. Through this Anthill dashboard, companies can easily manage the conversations with their frontline workers. Let's take a look at the Anthill conversation thread. Just 20 seconds. Okay. Through our conversation thread, Jane, for example, can text in about her questions and everything. Let's say Jane texts in about her question regarding the lack of job training. And our system automatically catches up the phrase and keywords and replies back to her with the training schedules and options. We understand the certain frequencies of specific questions. That is why our auto-resolution feature resolves over 95% of the inbound questions automatically. Tag a word or phrase, and we will store the answer for you. Employees like Jane will receive the quick answers, and you save your time. Managers can also set up a survey or run a campaign, and we will summarize the results for you. Now, let's move into Anthill Pro, where our knowledge as people scientist comes in. Please go back to Demo 2. Here we provide advanced analytics showing you the workplace health score, letting you know how your workforce is feeling and whether they are at potential risk of leaving their job. We display which teams are having issues, which teams are feeling disengaged, and pinpoint the driving forces behind those potential turnover. Overall, our goal is to improve retention across your organization. Please go back to the slide. Our system has the capacity to script through the thousands of user data to be able to provide right answers to those FAQs so that the employees don't feel like they are talking to a chatbot. We also created a custom sentiment and psychometric analysis so that the employers will learn the feelings and needs of their deskless workers before they say something, before serious problems arise. The mutual trust is the core component of reducing turnover. However, to build trust, we first need to provide access to that communication. Employers and employees are running in different directions as they are affected by so many different problems and issues every single day. Anthill is reconciling employees and employers by creating a bridge between them. Our next generation of the product is the application, API, and integration into the existing HR platforms like SAP and messaging applications. With this, users then have the ability to take the massive data and be able to communicate out of people in a complementary way. HR SaaS market is growing fast. After this pandemic, it's even faster. Since our first launch of the product, Anthill quadrupled its growth. We process more than 50,000 messages in each every month. Our service has over 95% of adoption rate. That is, over 950 employees out of 1,000 are satisfied with our service. On average, Anthill customers are saving 5 hours per day, $22,000 per person by decreasing their turnover rate. If you run a company with 10,000 employees, that is $53 million of savings. Anthill connects everyone. Anthill helps both employees and employers. Anthill provides a complete inclusivity of the entire workforce. If any part of your workforce is deskless, either in the factory, in the delivery services, or in your stores, don't lose your workers. Get connected today and know what's going on with your workers. Thank you.
Give it up for Anthill. All right, Brian, let's start with you.
Yeah, thanks so much for the presentation. I love the name of the company. I think it's great. One of the questions I wanted to ask is, a pretty good indicator that you're really nailing the goal of making employees' lives better is when people leave a job that's using Anthill, do they bring the product with them or push for the product at a new role? Now, obviously, some of these employees don't have the power to actually make that purchasing decision, but are you seeing any sort of behavior like that in kind of the early customer data that you have?
So we're trying to build the software that helps both employees and employers. And of course, employers' main goal is to keep these employees in the same place so they can actually save a lot of time and money for the training and the rehire process too. But at the same time, for the employee side, the problem is really simple. They just need a simple answer for their questions. The questions are actually coming from their everyday jobs. But the thing is, the system is not working in terms of the communication. The communication channel is actually blocking. And the reason is because they are thinking about different things every day. These employees are having like really fundamental issues like equipment. Where can I get this equipment? Can I change my shift? Can I talk to my supervisor because my paycheck is not working? That type of simple things. But employers are thinking in a different way. Why these people are not coming to the shift in the right time? Where are they? Are they having a right time in terms of like performing in the right way? Because they are not answering the right question. This simple communication line will help them to get right answer immediately, and by saving that amount of time, they are happy. They are bringing more efficiency and productivity from the employee side. When they are like secured in a job position, they won't leave. If we can save that time and resources for the employer, then we can make a happiness for both employees and employers together.
Great. We'll go to Jordan, then Josephine.
So given the employers that you're targeting, have you found that the vast majority of them are using both the W-2 and contractor employees?
So most likely, employers are starting with the demo one, the very basic feature of the communication first, and then they see the value of this communication and add on to the Anthill Pro, so they can learn more information on behalf of the deskless workers.
I guess in terms of the actual employees, the status of them in terms of their worker classification, and because that governs a lot of types of communication and types of integration into the workforce that they can have to avoid being classified as a W-2 worker.
Could you repeat that last sentence?
So yeah, so basically just the workers that you're going after, Is there a high percentage of them that are independent contractors, not W-2 workers?
Oh, yeah, actually. So in both ways. So our customers are actually from the small to mid-size of the companies to the enterprise level companies. So it doesn't really matter where the contractors are actually at. So like our customers are everywhere. So from the small side of the contracts, from the small side of the contracts to the big size of the full-time employees, everyone should be covered. Everyone should have the access to this platform and then communication. And then every open source of this communication line will be open for everyone, regardless of their position.
Josephine?
I'm curious what your pricing model is. I can see how you could really create a lot of value for the employers, especially with increased retention, but how much of that value can you capture?
So what we can tell now is it's actually a lot cheaper than what they are paying, what the enterprise level customers are paying right now. So it really depends on the size of the companies, size of the users of the specific sites, and the usual texting behaviors of the end users. So we actually customize this pricing plan for the specific customer. And the thing is, they are saving a lot of money because we're not charging them like thousands of dollars per person. Of course, we're charging them in a reasonable amount of money per person, per head in a subscription model per month. But we also offer like a yearly plan or like a 3-year plan. The thing is, most of the feedback that we actually received from the enterprise level customers, they don't want to come up with a monthly plan. They want to set this up more than like a year plan or a 3-year plan or 5-year plan. They consider this as a huge investment. And because they know the value of this communication with their frontline workers. And I see the point why they're doing that, and then we are actually meeting their needs from our standpoint.
Can you give us one example of one contract, just the size of that,
Well,
if possible?
I am not allowed to speak with that, but I'm happy to provide more information on the back of the stage.
Connie?
So you mentioned, I have 2 questions. The first is, who's saving the 5 hours a day? Is it the employer or is it the worker?
Employer side. So usually what they need to do is trying to get a contact with their deskless workers. The thing is, they cannot make a contact with their deskless workers. Those deskless workers out there, they want to just connect with their supervisor or the champion. The line is just missing. They just need one phone call. And when they get to the one phone call, they just need to talk and talk and talk until they actually get to the point to answer their question. We're saving that amount of time, 5 hours per day.
And then the second question is, you mentioned a couple of the reasons why people struggle at the workplace: training quality, safety, promotion path, wage. Have you been able to draw a line from I can text message my boss to my wages are going up, or I can text message my boss to I'm getting promoted? And if you haven't drawn a direct line, do you think you'll be able to?
Please answer quickly.
So yeah, our setup is actually anonymous. So whenever employees are sending their questions, everything is just hidden. No one knows who's sending what question. Only employees have the option on their dashboard. If that is really related to the personal level, fairly sensitive information, then our system asks the employee to disclose their name. By that point, they can communicate by opening their name. But besides that, we're closing everything anonymous. So they can send any specific questions regardless of their the payment or the raise of the issues or anything that is on the personal level. So we are keeping their identity until it's really related to their personal level issues.
Very good. And we're out of time for Anthill. Give them a round of applause.